My name is UZOMA EZEOKE. I'm a pharmacist and I currently serve as ED at Emzor Pharmaceuticals here in Nigeria. I serve, I guess that's the right word, as an executive director. Something peculiar called general duties, which I think is an amalgamation of things other people don't want to do that get thrown into one basket. But I also work with HR, and my core focus is actually our customers, our commercial teams, product development, etc. All roads lead to the customer, and that's where you'll normally find me. Innovation at Emzor. Most pharmaceutical manufacturers in Nigeria begin with manufacturing over-the-counter items. These are things like paracetamol, vitamins, maybe cough mixtures, things that generally, would I say, don't get a lot of respect until you have something like COVID, when we realize the importance of something as simple as vitamin C. But we've moved beyond that. It's a great place to start, and it's the bedrock of the success of many local manufacturers in the country. But if you want to move into prescription-driven medicines, you want to make cardiovascular products, things for diabetes, it gets a little bit more intricate, and that's where innovation comes in. IP has been super important to us at Emzor because we've not only practiced the supply of delivering brands, or rather products, to the market, but we've built brands, things that people grew up on and their children take today, enduring legacy. But it's going to take more and more innovation for efficiency. Formulations change. We are in a marketplace, an environment where you need to build resilience into your formulations to withstand, things like storage issues. Recommendations change for treatment. We were the first to make the anti-malarial combination that's recommended by WHO, and since then there are other emerging formulations we've developed and continue to make those. So innovation is key to keeping you relevant in business, keeping you profitable, and ensuring that you continue to meet the needs of the population. Our challenges are, challenge is an invitation. It's basically an invitation to overcome. There's nothing unique about doing business as Emzor compared with any other sort of business in the environment that we operate in. It's volatile, it's uncertain, it's complex, and can be very ambiguous at times. But all brands, all businesses are driven by vision, and a vision to deliver a solution and solve problems and create value. As a female-led establishment, I'll start with our founder, Dr. Stella Chinyelu Okoli, who is a pharmacist and knows no challenge, if I would use that expression. I'm not saying that tritely. It's because of the approach to it. Emzor is under her leadership, a very solutions-oriented organization. We understand things are going to happen. They're just par for the course of being in business. But as a female-led establishment, it's leveraging on the resilience of being a woman, leveraging on the doggedness, and really understanding that you have to deliver. You simply have to get it done. And I think it's been overcome by supporting talent and the right stuff. So as far as the role of parents and mentors, I think that's been very integral to Emzor's story. Our founder is obviously a woman, but also the firstborn. But even in the 40s, being born in the 40s, she enjoyed all the access and privileges normally reserved for the male child. Her father actually began a movement called, we're from Eastern Nigeria, Igbos. So in Igbo language, nwanyi bụ ife. The woman is something. And that was a means of encouraging his friends and those he had influence over to train your daughters. So she had access to full education, the same as, firstborn sons in any family, same as her her younger brothers who came along, actually went in to study engineering, and he visited her and actually asked, you know, Stella, this engineering, you know, great, but what's going to happen to all your beautiful dresses? Are you going to spend all your time under a machine? And it was a recognition of the vibrancy of her personality, as well as her ability, you know, to do what she'd set out to do, as well as other things. And that's how she looked into pharmacy and switched courses at the University of Bradford. So it's really limitless, you know, the role that a parent and a mentor can play. I think the key thing that you have a responsibility to do as a parent or a mentor is for you to deal with your own bias, which is something that her father did, and stop putting labels on interests. This is for a boy, this is for a girl. What are you doing? In humility, we need to understand that we don't understand, because things are always evolving. There are new needs being created by society. Today it's robots taking over some things, freeing our minds up to take on other things. We haven't come to the end of invention or entrepreneurship, which is basically solving problems. New problems are emerging, and a new crop of thinking. I don't say new generation. You know, I think I'm still at the early stage of the innovations I will bring, you know, to the world. So it's something wonderful to do as parents and mentors, which is be open and encourage the genius that's emerging. So as a drug manufacturer, IP is critical, because at least for the approach that we take, we are building brands. Understanding patents and trademarks are very, very important. The challenge, I think, is maybe around the protection, and for young entrepreneurs, understanding how important it is to actually execute you know, full registrations, ensure your documentation is in place, maintain your records, and honestly challenge any usurpers. You know, we've seen situations where they copied everything except the spelling of the name. So technically, it's not your trademark. But in a population where literacy is low, I defy that customer at a glance to differentiate between our branded product of a very high standard with a lookalike. But you also have to brave the judicial system and do the work. It might take you years, but you need to make it very uncomfortable for anyone coming to, you know, steal from what you have spent time developing, especially when it's not of standard. So on World Intellectual Property Day, coming off the heels of International Women's Day, the message is simple. There's so much left to do. You're carrying IP. We're all carrying IP. The fact that every human being is different is because there's something different you're meant to do. Whether you're an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, whether you are developing these systems from within an organization, whether you're bringing out the value, even if you're not the founder, we need these solutions, even from the pharmaceutical space. Diseases are, they're emerging, they're mutating, you know, new solutions are required. And as we talked about during the forum today, there's an expiry date on your IP. We've seen brands swept away by new tech, so get to work. Don't worry about it being perfect. Certainly leverage on mentorship, access free education. You know, it was a superpower before. Now I think they're saying IT and AI are on the rise, but they've opened the door wide open. So access it, bring your light to the fore. There's darkness waiting for you. Happy IP Day.